All right. Hello, everybody. I think we're live. I'm pretty sure my mic is working. I'm not actually that certain about it. Let me know if you can hear me. Hello. So while everyone sort of filters in, I'm going to give it a couple of minutes, let everyone sort of join in everything, and then we can get started. All right. So how is everybody doing today? I know I've had sort of a lazy Sunday. My cats have been sleeping in the windowsills, and I've mainly just been cleaning and prepping for the stream. So it is definitely still very nice fall weather, actually. I feel kind of lucky. All right, I'm getting word that audio and video have been desynced, and I wonder why. All right, so I hope that everyone's doing well. Even if it's a little bit desynced, I'm probably just going to power through it. So we'll see. So we had 17 teams submit completed projects this year. So if anyone is curious, we do have a list of the completed projects. I'll post the link over in, let me actually get the published link instead, over on our YouTube. And you can also find this link in our CodeJam announcements channel as well. Okay, so we're about 5 minutes past, so I'm going to get the show on the road. I hope y'all are ready. This will be more of a casual, informal stream because it's Sunday and I biked 20 miles yesterday, so I'm still tired. But let's get into it. So, hi, my name is Kat. I'm the events lead for the Python Discord server. I have definitely pinged most people many times over the past couple of months. So, hi, I'm the person that pings constantly. I just want to thank everybody for coming to our CodeJam live stream. So for our CodeJam, this runs typically every year. We used to run it twice a year, but that was a little bit much with how many people we have participating now. So we now run it once a year. Usually around in the summertime, we were a bit delayed this year. Essentially, everyone who signs up and is able to complete our qualifier, we put them into teams of about 4 to 6 people and give them 10 days to make some sort of application. We give them a technology they need to use and also a theme their app needs to sort of meet and incorporate. So this year, the technology was image processing and manipulation. So they had to use one of our approved libraries to help just process images, manipulate images, all that kind of good stuff. And then additionally, the theme, where their app kind of had to incorporate this theme, was secret codes. So that is generally our CodeJam. We have a lot of people that like to complete the qualifier as well, which is always a fun task. And so for this live stream, we will be demoing live the top 10 projects, which all received in-depth code reviews. I can post the link to our GitHub unless someone on the events team wants to beat me to that first. And we're going to demo them at the end of the stream. We are also going to sort of showcase or just announce our top 3 our top 3 teams, which will all get a 1-year professional JetBrains software license. Thank you, JetBrains. And then of those top 3 teams, we will also announce our winner. So that's what we sort of have to look forward to for this live stream. Chuchimuru, we have announced the top 10 teams. They were announced in the CodeJam announcements channel. September 27th, apparently, is when I announced that. Is this in alphabetical order? No, actually. Our very own Scofflaw has custom made an order for us to review the projects in. And for prizes, JetBrains, one of our sponsors, has given us 1-year licenses to any of their professional software IDEs for a year for the top 3 teams. Every member of the top 3 teams will get a 1-year pro subscription to one of the IDEs. And then we will also have Python Discord merch of people's choice that the top 3 teams can also order and get, with international shipping too. And in terms of the Scofflaw ordering, I think Scofflaw should patent it as the Scofflaw heuristic, a custom-made ordering of the projects to review. All right, so I do want to say thank you to our sponsor, JetBrains. JetBrains is a software development company, mainly focusing on making professional level IDEs, essentially code environments. They're also responsible for making the language Kotlin, fun fact. So if you use Kotlin, you can thank JetBrains for that. And they've again sponsored this CodeJam for this year and providing 1-year paid licenses to any IDE of your choice that JetBrains provides. So thank you very much to JetBrains. They've been a great supporter of the Python Discord throughout the years, and it's much appreciated. So to answer this question, do licenses include all the JetBrains IDEs? You can get any IDE a 1-year professional license for it. It doesn't have to be just PyCharm. So if you're happy or if you already have a PyCharm one, you can get a license for Rider or WebStorm or a Cleon, I don't know how you say that one, but any of their IDEs. All right, I need to get my computer ready. So we are going to start diving into the project. I hope y'all are ready. This is going to be a little bit rough and tumble because I don't have a separate laptop just to demo the project. So I'm going to do it on my main desktop. So I need to sort of balance everything. People are bringing up, in terms of my pronunciation of the one JetBrains IDE, it's probably Sea Lion. That makes way more sense. Ignore my pronunciation entirely. Okay, so the first project that we are going to review are the thick wrappers. So the thick wrappers made a stenography tool that has a really nice web UI. It's actually made with a new, or not new, but new to me, Python GUI tool called Nice GUI. Pretty cool. I'm going to post a link to what they used in the chat because I found it fascinating. And the neat part about the project that I kind of want to shout out is you can actually encode an entire image inside an image, which is pretty cool. So let's take a look at their. Give me 1 second. I need to figure out which of these screens is the correct one. There we go. So we're going to take a look at their README. And please let me know if it's too small to see. I'm going to try my best to make sure it is nice and big enough. So their app is called In Plain Pixel, created by the Thick Wrappers for the 2023 Code Jam. So it's a steganography application built completely with Python. We're able to encrypt any valid input method into an image of our choice. So we can encrypt a text file, text itself, or the really cool bit, a whole image. We can just encode an image inside another image, which I found pretty cool. Y'all had better get used to light mode. I will say that right now. So I'm generally a light mode user on my main computers. So I hope you're ready for some solarized light. So their README goes through what steganography is, how it works, and then also, very importantly, how to actually set up their project. So let's go to the terminal and let's actually run their project. I have run every single project that was submitted so far, each one inside their own little venv, so hopefully the setup shouldn't take too long. I just need to know which monitor this is appearing in. It's in this monitor. Okay, cool. And let me get the right screen share going again. I think it's this one. Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. Okay, so this is their, gonna make real big. Maybe not that big. So this is their user interface they have. Hi, cat. Hi. So I have two cats, and this one is called Pixel, and she likes to be involved anytime I'm doing a presentation. So they do have a dark mode, which I guess I'll turn on for y'all. So they have two modes here. They have encryption, they have decryption. We can encrypt text. We can also read from a text file, which is really cool. And then we can also enter a cover image. Hi, cat. I need you to move. Yep, keep going. Keep going. Thank you. So we're going to try encrypting an image in an image, because why not? Give me 1 second. I'm going to bring my screen offline for a hot second while I don't share everything personal on my computer. So what we're doing is we are embedding a picture of Joe, one of our founders, into a picture of Ivol, one of our moderators, because I just have these pictures on my computer, apparently. So the nice thing here is that the image that I want to encrypt into the picture of Ivol is actually bigger than the picture of Ivol. So it was automatically resized, which is pretty cool. Let me try that one more time. And that's the new picture. Somewhere in there is an embedded Joe, so I'm going to download that. All right, so let's go to the decryption. And let's actually drag it over. And I can actually drag and drop. And let's decrypt it. And if I download the image, you can see in my downloads folder, which I can't actually show you because I didn't share my whole screen, but it is indeed a picture of Joe when I download it. And Joe is one of our founders. Again, who is Joe? Whoever knows. So pretty neat. Let me actually share my whole screen so y'all can see that. So this is the image that we downloaded, which is Ivol, and somewhere in there is embedded a picture of Joe. And this is the one that we actually downloaded. And hey, there's the picture of Joe that was embedded inside this picture of Ivol. So pretty neat. That is the Thick Wrappers application. We can also encrypt, again, text into an image that we can then decrypt and pull out again. I'm not going to go through every single feature, but just kind of give y'all a run-of-the-mill idea of what's happening there. So thank you to the Thick Wrappers for this project. I thought it was just really neat that I could hide a whole picture inside another picture. That was just really cool. All right, so we're going to move on to our next project, the Magic Methods. So the Magic Methods did something pretty cool. You essentially you write some code and it pulls it into a picture. And then it also encodes the code itself into that image of the code so that someone else can download the picture of the code, decrypt it, and then get the actual code. That is the picture of the code. This will make sense when I actually run through it, so we'll get there. Give me 1 second to sort of switch to that new repo. While I do that, I do want to comment that the team names are probably one of my favorites this year, simply because they are based on Python band names was kind of the inspiration. That was an idea from Scofflaw. And his main method of getting the band names was just seeing whenever Mr. Hemlock, one of our admins, just said that would be a good band name. Were most of them usable? Absolutely not. But some of them were gold. All right, CodeJam 10 projects. Nope. All right. Need to actually close that file and open their README. Nope. Nope. Give me 1 second. I'm slowly working on getting this working. Okay, there we go. All right, so this is the Magic Methods. Their project is called code_stego. So essentially, it implements a steganography algorithm to save the source code into an image of the source code, if that makes sense. Like essentially, you type in the code, it converts it to binary, embeds it into the image that it kind of mocks up of the code itself. So you can share like a, what's the word? Like a colorful, what's the word when the code is like colored appropriately? That word. Not linted, but you get the vibes. So whenever you want to share some code, you can share a picture of it. Someone can download it, decrypt it, or de-encode it. And then they can have the code itself. Syntax highlighting, that's the word. That's the phrase. So a picture of the syntax highlighted code. Thank you to the folks who know words better than I do. Although I do like the idea of just, I know the pretty code. The really cool bit about their project is they also made a Discord bot that you can invite to their server. I did test out this Discord bot. Anyone on staff can see me sort of playing with it in my Python Discord testing playground. I'm not going to showcase the Discord bot versions on stream because that would show too much of my personal Discord client. So I'm just not going to do that. But it's pretty cool. They also have a demo website. And they also have some really good installation instructions using Docker and everything else, also a local installation. So we are going to go through this. And let me double check that I have everything installed. I think I need to start up the behemoth that is Docker, so give me a second. And I'm going to take down my screen for a second, just in case it pops up anything sensitive. Docker has not started up yet. Give me a second while the behemoth that is Docker engine emerges from its deep slumber. It's great. I love Docker. I love Docker, except waiting for the engine to start up. I do have a mechanical keyboard that is not quiet. So if you hear any typing, that's just me going ham on my keyboard. I usually do a separate user account. I didn't this year because I was lazy. Okay, Docker has started. Okay. It's thinking about starting. It has to go through the whole Docker initialization steps. So how did everyone here like the code jam itself? Did y'all have fun? Would you maybe do it again next year? Do you want to maybe help with it next year? How do y'all feel about that? All right, Flo, I'm glad you had a fun time. give me 1 second. I need to type in this command, and then I can be a good host again. Okay, there we go. I have it running. Thank you. My keyboard does indeed go thok, thok, thok. All right, so this is the Magic Methods encode decode. So we can type up a whole bit of code here. We can download the image, and within that image, it will also encode the code that is in that image. So first, let me go off and find some code to download. Give me 1 second. I'm actually going to steal their own code. All right, so we're going to embed their own Discord bot code into an image. And you can see here that on the side, they've actually already kind of shown like the syntax highlighted version of it and everything. I think the view is a little bit janky because I'm 170% zoomed in. So this is a me zooming in way more than any one person should. So one thing I do want to point out, since we're here, they have the os.getEnv, which means that you don't actually input your token into the file. This is good. Use .env files for sensitive information. This is good. So let's download it. And you can see here that we have an image of their code and the little live preview. Boom. So I can now share this code with the world to be like, hey, can you check out my code? And if someone's like, please don't share pictures of the code, share the text, I'll be like, just decrypt it. Easy peasy. Then you have the text code. So pretty cool. Let's actually try decoding it now. I like the little bar. It is thinking about it. Let me double check that this indeed worked. It did not quite yet. Why not? This is Stellarkiss's biggest pet peeve of people sharing images for code. So I think I might have broken it a little bit. This is likely something that I did, but it's not updating. Let's refresh. Decoder. Let's go to downloads. Okay, there we go. I just needed to refresh. We're good to go. So there we go. We have the actual code itself with syntax highlighting. some pretty good rejects right here as well. I do say rejects specifically to annoy Scofflaw. And there we go. So pretty cool project in all. They also have a Discord bot that you can use, like I mentioned. So you can add a bot, upload code to the bot. The bot will spit out a picture of the code with the code embedded inside the picture of the code that you can then share. And the bot will also allow you to decode other pictures. It's pretty fun. So apparently this regex here is yoinked straight from the Python Discord repos, which I can't blame them. Our projects are pretty good, you know. So thank you to the Magic Methods. I had a lot of fun with this. I think this is just a really cool project. I like that you also have a Discord bot to support this and everything else. So very nicely done. I've really enjoyed this. But we are going to move on to our next project, which are the async aggregators. And let me get their repository open, which I think might be this one. No, that's the readable regexes. There it is. I have all of the projects downloaded in a folder, so I need to actually open the correct one. And I do actually need to kill that Docker container. Let me do that. All right, let me eat that container. While I pulled this up, fun fact from Stellarkiss, the creator of the Perl programming language says that regexin is the Perl of regex. All right, there we go. Now I have this open. So before we dive into this next project, has the winner already been chosen? Actually, no. During this live stream, the events team is actually joining in, as well as the admins, and they're sort of tuning in to look at all of the projects in action. We are, during this live stream itself, sort of forming a lot of our opinions. We'll actually be doing the voting during a 15-minute break after we've demoed the top 10 projects. We'll be taking into account presentations, the code quality itself, sort of the reviewers' opinions on the in-depth code review we do and everything. So it has not been chosen. We'll be figuring that out during a 15-minute break towards the end of the stream. All right, but to get going, let's take a look at the async aggregators. So the async aggregators made a sort of like puzzle game called Digital Shadows. The puzzle game is very much centered around image manipulation, where you have to solve these different puzzles through image manipulation to find the secret codes. I tried this out like a couple of weeks ago, and I was so bad at it. It was borderline embarrassing. So you're going to see me also struggle with it because I've already forgotten all of the answers. I really like the cover image as well. It's pretty nice. So Digital Shadows transports players into the enthralling depths of the digital realm. I will not read this whole thing, but y'all are welcome to read it. This uses poetry. Let me actually get that going. If I have to change my poetry version, I'm going to scream. Mm-hmm. Maybe. Nope. I don't use poetry a lot of the time, so I can never get the commands correctly. So, you know. While this is loading, stellar kiss. So there are actually two words in English that are typically pluralized with an N instead of an S. So ping stellar kiss in the server and off topic if you know which two words those are. Here we go. Okay, so there are a couple of different puzzles here. Give me 1 second, y'all. I need to actually open a different channel. Okay, there we go. I'm actually going to go back to their repository because they actually go through everything here. So they have the Ishihara test, double exposure, color swap, hidden in ASCII, motion, and everything else. They also had a whole little video presentation that I won't be playing here, but it was very well done. So within here, somewhere within here, there will be a secret code. So I need to sort of mess with the different sliders here to show the secret code. So you can see as I change the sliders, like maybe there's a code, I don't know. Very much a little bit of a guess and check here. So the Ishihara test is those color blindness test, essentially, where you have a mosaic of different colors, and if you are not colorblind in certain colors, then you can actually make out like the contrast, and you can see either a word or an image or a number or something there. So that's the Ishihara test. Oliver, I generally expect the demo portion itself to take about 90 minutes. So we had a little bit of time in the beginning, and we'll have some time in the end to sort of wrap up and announce the winners. But the demos itself, about 60 to 90 minutes. But let me keep clicking here while I figure out what this should be. So at some point, this should reveal some sort of mosaic with a particular sort of A and B filtering that we can read. It's just a matter of figuring out what that is. So we have, let's try 4 and 4. A. So very lightly, what you can see here is 42. A, correct secret code. But yes, about 4 and 4, 5 and 5. There's a couple other ones. I think I can do like 4 or like 8 and 16, I think kind of work. Then there's double exposure. So this will slowly fade between these two images. And these two images are supposed to give us a clue for what the secret code is. And like what compound underscored word emerges from the darkness. Discrete underscore presence. We have a snake, we have luggage. And it is a snake case. Did I do that right? Yeah. So very fun. This one, you can swap colors between two palettes, which is really cool. And in there, it sort of gives you an idea of like some colors will change, other colors won't, and somewhere in there is an embedded code when you do enough of the swaps. And it is over on the side here, actually. I need to choose a little bit. There we go. So that's 2000012, maybe? Yeah, pretty cool. You can see that it's along the right here, that as you swap colors, some of them will always be consistent together. Others will just change randomly. So pretty cool secret code embedded into the image there. Then we have hidden in ASCII. So what's going to happen here is they take this image and it's converting it entirely into ASCII. And somewhere in there is embedded a secret code. And you can actually zoom in. And somewhere in here is actually the secret code. And so you just have to kind of look through this huge image of just ASCII code and find it. I'm pretty sure I know what the answer. Oh, there it is. I found it. Ha. So pretty neat. This took me, when I first tried it out, no less than 15 minutes to find this word. And then finally, this image. You have this whole image, and you need to undo all of the distortions, which is pretty neat. And then within there, then you will sort of find the secret code. It will look a particular way. I, however, am going to leave this as an exercise to the reader. So enjoy solving this last little puzzle called motion. So again, they've manipulated this image and you need to de-manipulate it. My favorite is making it worse, though. That's for sure my favorite. Like, don't you love this? This is great. So very cool, very fun, very nicely done. Okay, so how are we all doing? I might take a couple of minutes break here. We've been going for about 30 to 40 minutes. So I want to make sure that people can get up, stretch, get water, a bio break, etc. And then I can get the next project up and running. So we're going to take about a 5-minute break. Let's come back at about like 3:52 in 5 minutes exactly. And we will then go through the rubber duck debuggers. So I will see y'all in about 5 minutes while I just get some water and stretch my legs. Boo, I'm back. All right, while people filter in back, I'll kind of get the next project ready to go. So we will be reviewing the Rubber Duck Debuggers project. And let me bring it onto screen. All right, y'all should let me know when you can see, hear me, etc., etc. It's true that StellarKiss does exclusively run on coffee. Pretty well documented. All right, so I'm going to get right into it. So we're going to go through the Rubber Duck Debuggers. The Rubber Duck Debuggers did a stenography tool. This is a CLI tool exclusively. So y'all are going to have to bear with me. I am not the best user of CLI tools. So it's going to be a little bit like watching your grandmother try to Google something. And you're going to be like, Grandma, please, can I just take over? And like, no, you can't. You're just going to have to go through it. But it's pretty cool. It has some really cool, fun side tools embedded into the CLI. For instance, it has a text replacer. So it will, like, if you give it an image, it will find text, and then you can input whatever text to be replaced in there. And you could also do a couple of things that, well, let's just go through it. So it has a bunch of different CLI tools for hiding messages and various things. So they have transcoding, where you encrypt some sort of text with an encryption key, and then it embeds it into this colorful image. And to decrypt it, you need to pass it the secret key, and then it will spit out the very colorful, the actual message that's embedded in this image. So that's pretty cool. And then you can also decrypt it. It also has steganography, which uses the least significant bit, the LSB, to embed data into it. So for instance, these two images, the one on the right has a message encoded into it, but it looks identical. So you could never actually realize, which is the cool part about steganography. They also have a hidden text mode, where essentially they'll have repeating characters of one code, and somewhere in here is a hidden different word. So you have to try to find it, and it's right there. So pretty neat. And then the replace text feature, which uses the East text detection model in conjunction with OpenCV. Pretty neat. So instead, you usually have the word stop here, and instead it replaces it with the word hello. So pretty neat. But let's actually use the CLI. I do have to have their docs open, because otherwise it will go badly for me. Because I'm not a CLI user. All right, I think they have tests that I can use as well. So I need to activate my virtual environment first, always and forever. And then we're going to use this command. All right, cool. Nope, because that's not how I do this. I know how to copy and paste things. So essentially what I'm doing there is I'm actually doing the Python import this, which if you don't know what that does, you should absolutely, in your Python interpreter or in your REPL environment, like if you just type py into console, it opens up like that interactive bit, type import this and see what it outputs. It's pretty fun. So essentially I'm taking all that text that is inside the import this, and then I'm passing that right into their PicCrypt to encode it into an image. And it's saved to tests and it's saved to direct. So this image has text encoded into it. No. Okay, I can't zoom out because I don't know how to zoom out in VS Code. So that's fun. Oh, there we go. It's just being slow. And unfortunately, you can't decode it unless you have the secret, super secret encryption key and password. But it's pretty cool. So let's actually try decrypting it. And we can see what's inside. Like what is inside import this. Ta-da! And so it de-encodes it. So the decoded data. The Zen of Python by Tim Peters. But let's try it one more time. But let's say that I get the wrong password in. Let's say it's Hunter2, because I don't know my passwords. And it's invalid. That is not a correct decryption key. So you can't actually decode the image without the correct secret key. So that's pretty neat. They can, again, like before, they also have the encoding of an image in here. I won't go through every single feature, but just sort of put everything in there. They do have the hidden text, so let's try that out. Make it a little bit Halloween themed, if I can type. So essentially, I want to hide the text boo inside just a bunch of hellos. And that will be an output.png. Where'd you go? There it is. So somewhere in this whole text thing is boo. And you'll have to try to find it. Somewhere. It's in there. I don't know where, but somewhere in there. So pretty fun. It's cute. I like it. Of just hiding a word and just a wall of other words. And finally, let's actually try the text replacer feature they have, where you have an image that has text in it. Their project will detect it. And then it will replace it with a different word. So mystery glitch. Can I set the background and text to a different color? Probably, but I'm not a strong CLI user, so I'm gonna get it wrong for a while. But I do recommend others to experiment with this and change the color and the options. If you look at their presentation, for instance, the hidden text, you can change the font size, if you should trim extra wording, the color, how much padding there should be. There's a lot of really cool options. But I do want to try one last one, the stop sign replacer. So the original picture this is the original picture. We're going to take this and we're going to replace stop with a different word. So let's try it. So let's change it to boo. All right, and it's going to save it to output. Ta-da! So with their application using OpenCV and the East detection model, they detected the word stop and replaced it with boo. Pretty cute. I like it. It's a fun project, entirely CLI based. So I think if I do pick crypt help, it'll output all the different commands it has available. So it's a common CLI thing that you can do where you can do pick crypt hide text help. It would help if I could spell, that's for sure. And ta-da. So very nicely done, very fun. All right, but let us continue onwards. The next team we're going to review are the dynamic typists. So let me get that up and going. And let's get on with it. Let me know what y'all have recently been working on in Python while I get this next project up and running. While I'm waiting for my VS Code to fully start up again, we have Rohan asking about some of the details about the LSB, the least significant bit encoding, where I think if you have a certain amount of bits, you replace the last one, like the least significant one that like doesn't contribute much to the image, and you can encode data in there. Gonna be real, don't know much information about it, but I believe we do have some sort of experts in chat and on staff that can sort of explain the principles behind the LSB encoding and how that works. Do I not have... Oh, there's a poetry lock. Okay, cool. I'm in the wrong folder. There we go. All right, I hope y'all are ready. So let's take a look. Actually, before we do that, I lied. So for the least significant bit, you use the last bit of an 8-bit coloring. So only 1/8 of the data is changed, but the change is seamless. And so you put the message in the lower part of the byte. So you can use more of the bits, but that will start to affect the image, is essentially what Keith is saying there. So you can eat up more of the data, but that will have more of an effect on the image itself. So you're sort of paying a trade-off with encode more data or make the image less detectable that there's been a change there. So pretty neat. And standard affect, their team replaced the 4 at least significant bits in each pixel. And there are other implementations possible. All right, but let's get going for the dynamic typists. They have quite a bit of an introduction that I won't be reading every single sentence, but the gist of it is artificial intelligence reigns supreme, but our last beacon of hope shines, and it is CAPTCHA. This team has taken CAPTCHA essentially to the next level in an effort to foil some of these new AIs that are coming out. So they're all image-based CAPTCHAs, but they have a bit of a twist that we'll have to find out. So they're multifaceted challenges. So you need to unscramble an image and then identify a code in that image to prove that you are not a bot. So it's fun. But let's take a look at the user guide installation. There we go. So it uses Poetry. I'm on Windows. I just need the command. Okay, cool. Yeah, maybe. Thinking about working. Hey, perfect. And let me get this on the right. All right, so we're gonna have some fun completing this. So while it loads, I do want to say that this is a pure Python stack. Am I in a web browser? Yes. Is it still Python? Yes. Their front end is done using Pyodide, which I found to be pretty neat. So Pyodide is essentially using WebAssembly. So it is a sort of JavaScript replacement. It's pretty neat. I was very impressed that this is a web browser, but also purely Python. So pretty cool. And y'all can check out Pyodide if you're interested. I'm going to leave the link to the thing. Yeah. So pretty cool. So this is part of their thing. I'm going to lower the magnification a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to move it to the center of the screen. So somewhere in this image is actually a code that we need to uncover. So I can actually take each of these rings and rotate it. So luckily the last ring is fixed. Otherwise, I don't think I could solve it. And so I need to take each of these rings, unscramble it until I can read the code inside of it. Haha, there we go. So this one is J4SY5. I can confirm it, and I've solved it. And you can see in the back end here, they have different logging. So you can see that I made a post request, a get request, and everything back here. So that's pretty cool. Let's try another one. It's generating a new challenge for us. So this one is fun. I need to turn each image, and I can also drag and drop it into a new spot. So I need to figure out which order the image goes in and also turn it until it makes sense. I don't think this is correct. I think I need to swap these two. And then in there is the code VMC8T. Is that correct? Yes, it is. So good luck to ChatGPT trying to do this. I also do say that this looks more fun than clicking pictures with a motorcycle. Agreed. If I have to choose another image of like, select all the images that have a bike, and I'm like, it's like an eighth of a wheel. And I'm like, does it think that's a bike? Because it's debatable whether an eighth of a wheel is a bike, you know? So this is very fun. Again, done entirely with Python, and pretty cool. When I tested this out, I was just very impressed because it's Python, but it feels very seamless. Like there's no lag or anything in the browser. It's really cool. So if I start seeing CAPTCHAs like this, honestly, I won't be mad. I think there's one more kind of puzzle. It's this one. So for this one, I need to drag and drop them in the right order, which is I actually had a lot of fun with. I think that one needs to go below. I need to swap those two. Yeah. And the fun part is that you still need to solve the complete puzzle to get the code. If you can sort of read the code, but the puzzle isn't 100% solved, it will reject it, which is pretty fun that I found out through testing. When I had kind of solved it, like half-assed it, and it was like, no, you didn't solve it. Keep going. Thanks. So really cool. This application doesn't have a lot of features, but like it's incredibly well done. I love the concept. It's entirely pure Python. Overall, I was just very impressed and had a lot of fun. Had fun doing CAPTCHAs, which is not a sentence I would expect myself to say out loud. And I'm like, yeah, no, that CAPTCHA was fun, right? Yeah. So very fun. I think it goes this way. Yeah? Yeah. There we go. This is the last one I'll do, I swear. Confirm. So very nicely done for the dynamic typists. But let us continue swiftly onwards. So the next project we're going to cover is the top level walruses. So let me get that project up and started. So there are 6,144 possibilities for like the 4x4. We have to like swap and rotate it apparently. I'm no mathematician. I'm in fact famously very bad at math, despite me being an engineer. So someone can fact check that. That's really cool. That is for the one you have 6,144 possibilities there. So for the top level walruses, we are taking a bit of a dive into esoteric programming languages, actually. Which you'd think, wait, this is a code jam about image manipulation. What do you mean esoteric programming languages? Like, what are you talking about? Well, it turns out there is a hold on, my VS Code just yelled at me about not wanting to launch a preview. Oh no, give me 1 second, y'all. But there's a programming language called Piet that I will type into chat. That is based on colored image blocks. So while I restart my VS Code, y'all can take a look at that. It's pretty neat. So while that's going, let's actually dive a bit more into the Piet programming language. So the Piet programming language, ta-da, zoom in, is a programming language in which programs will actually look like abstract paintings. It's named after a famous artist who pioneered the field of geometric abstract art. So pretty neat. And essentially what this programming language does is it, between different image blocks next to each other, the difference between the hues and the lightness values will determine the code instruction, like whether you push from the stack, pop from the stack, go to the next instruction. So this kind of goes through it. They have a hues cycle, they have a lightness cycle. It's a lot to it. So they have, based on the hue change and the lightness change, the combination here will determine whether you multiply, whether it's a not, whether it's a pointer, whether you're adding or dividing. There's a lot of different commands, and there's also a couple of sample programs. So for instance, this one here is Hello World, which is pretty cool. You have Fibonacci. For everyone who loves their introduction to comp sci, here is the Towers of Hanoi. This was written by someone else, not the language implementer. Don't ask me how it works. I have no idea. So that's kind of a fun exercise that this program can solve the Towers of Hanoi. So it looks really cool. You have really artistic ones as well that they can essentially do the same thing, but like in different ways. Lots of fun stuff there. Let me make sure my VS Code is happy. There we go. So essentially what this does is the top level walruses is you give it a message and it will encode the message inside a Piet program. So you need to run the Piet program that will then tell you the message. So it's encoding a message inside the code of a different esoteric programming language, which is pretty fun. So we're going to go through some of this. And then if you're given an image, you can then interpret it. And of course, you can also encrypt it with a key, which is pretty cool. It uses a Vignette cipher. I don't know if I said that right. And if you run it without a key, it will just be like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. And also, what the top level walruses have done is you can actually, so you give it a message and you encode it in this programming language, the Piet programming language. You can then take that Piet programming language and encode it inside a Piet programming language. And you can do this recursively, which is pretty wild to me that you would then have to like unwind like several different Piet programs to get the final message. Pretty neat. As you do recursion, you generate larger and larger images, as this shows here. And it's pretty neat. So I'm just going to do some basic demos with this. We're not going to go super into depth with it. But as you can see, what they've implemented is they have a couple of fun classes. So I ended up reviewing this project. And they have a custom class called Self-Expanding List. If you're interested in unique data structures to solve very interesting problems, I very much recommend you take a look to see what the self-expanding list actually does code-wise. It was a trip for me to review. I actually had to recruit Dawn and Abu to help me review part of this because I have never made a language interpreter in my life, never mind an esoteric one. So I was like, hey, Dawn, hey, Abu, like y'all love languages, right? Do y'all want to review this for me? And they were wonderful and did end up having a couple of comments for it, which I really appreciated. But there's a whole runtime, there's an interpreter, there's a generator for generating the image. There's quite a bit to what sounds like a simple project of, yeah, you just embed a message in this esoteric language. Don't worry about it. And there's quite a lot to it. I have a bit more to say about this project because I did review it, but it's fun. But let's actually try it out. I need to remember what the commands are. Give me a second. All right, so let's generate a program first, right? So we're going to do hello Python Discord, if I could spell. We're going to just call that out2.png. And let's see what this message in a programming language looks like. And that is what our message embedded in a Piet programming language looks like, or a script. This is their like main.py, but it's an image because it's really cool. We can also encrypt it if we want to, but first let's run this. There we go. So it's just Piet run out2.png. So now it's going to run this and it spits us back our message. So pretty cool. We can encrypt it with a key. So I can do, hey, let's do hunter2 as our super secret key. No, there we go. So that is the encrypted Vignette cipher message that they need the key to run. So let's first try running it without the key. And it's going to hate it. It gives a warning. It's like, hey, there's like nothing in here. What are you doing? So instead, let's try giving it the input key. Ta-da, it actually spits out the correct message. So this is pretty neat that you can encode an image inside a different language for Python programming, and you can also encrypt it. I won't be going through too much of the recursive things and generating these super huge images, but if you find this interesting, definitely take a look. It's pretty cool. So very well done. It was fun to review. It was fun to test, and I just found out about a new esoteric programming language. So fun, right? But we have to move swiftly onwards to make sure the stream doesn't run too terribly long. So we're going to take a look next at the expected indents. So the expected indents made a hangman game with a bit of a twist. I'm going to save the explanation of the twist and just show you instead. So let me get it set up. While this is getting set up, there is a reason why I use the secret key Hunter 2. If you have no idea why, you're like, why Hunter 2? What? Know that I've played video games from way too young of an age, and RuneScape is eternal. All right, let me get this README set up. Have a then by do. We have a message from Falcon asking what order the project's in. They're in a custom order developed by Scofflaw. Because the technology was image manipulation and the theme was secret codes, a lot of the project ended up doing some form of stenography. And if we did them in alphabetical order, we'd have like 5 projects all using stenography, like back to back to back to back to back. So we decided to mix it up a bit. So this is a custom Scofflaw order. This is a throwback to Hunter 2. So if you're even more confused by the statement, just go look into Hunter 2 lore. But I have the project mostly up. This is one where I'm actually not going to show you the README. We're just going to dive into it because it's really cute and fun. So let's do it. This is the expected indents project called Picture Puzzlers. It is a hangman game. So let's try it out. So our game is being created. All right, so we have to make our first guess, and then it will actually show us the image. So we are going to guess A, right? He's a good one, right? So that image doesn't make a lot of sense, right? Well, let's guess another image. It looks a little bit sharper. Maybe there's an S in here. A little bit. Cool. The N. An N is actually not in here. So what happened and what is happening is as we guess correctly, more of the image becomes clearer. There's a lot of linear algebra explanations for this, but essentially we're able to get more and more information as we make correct guesses. But the minute we make a wrong guess, it actually starts eating away information and we lose part of the picture. So this is, instead of hangman with like a little guy that you're slowly hanging, morbid, you're instead losing more of your hint that is the image. Let's try R. Losing even more of the image. Did I guess H yet? This is going badly. I'm not gonna lie. Taking recommendations for letters to guess. I have 3 lives left. I could guess C. Let's try that. Ugh, I'm not doing well. A P. A Q. We're going Q. The word was apparently mistake, which I did not even remotely guess. We can play again, which is pretty fun. So the neat part about this game is that it chooses from a list of dictionary words, and then it uses an API that essentially it will give it an image for the word. So it's really adaptable. There's not really hard coding like this word to this image. So instead of doing all the hard work of being like, okay, if someone guesses mouse, it'll be this specific image, they instead rely on an API that has a search where you give it a word and it gives you back an image that it thinks it's related. So then it uses that image here, which is pretty neat. And I thought that was really cool. So the math behind this is, let me actually find the math. So it uses singular value decomposition, where essentially it's a matrix that you will just get more and more information of the matrix. The reduction. So depending on how many terms you have in this matrix, you get more and more of the image. So that's what this team decided to use. Where essentially, as you get better guesses, you actually get more terms on this matrix, which means you get a better idea of what the image is, which is pretty cool. This was also a project when I was looking at the presentation. It was like 11 p.m. at night, and I'm like, wait, I have to do math. Wait, why am I learning math? Hold on. Whole time out. But it was very fun and very interesting. They went through kind of the technical explanation of this. So pretty cool. And Keith, it's a really, as Keith says, it's a really nice way to either encode data or do dimensional reduction. So if you have lots of data and you want to kind of reduce that down to make it more manageable, you do SVD. So pretty neat. Right, so we're going back to this. I'm making terrible guesses here. Oh my gosh. I think this is not success because that would be different. I don't know what this word is. And this image is maybe somehow related, not quite sure. But very cool. I will let y'all have fun with it. It's like almost success, but there's too many blank spots for it. Right? Because like you need... Oh, because it has 2 C's because I can't spell. Yeah, that's valid. I don't know how to spell. Standard. We did have a team that submitted something called the Benevolent Dictators that I misspelled once, and it just propagated throughout an entire system. And Scofflaw had to go fix that. So, you know. But very fun project. I really liked the idea behind it. I liked the usage of the API as well. I thought that was kind of very smart. And I had a lot of fun trying this out. So very well done. Expected indents. And we're going to move on to the next team, the Never-Ending Loops. So they have also a stenography-based project that has a little section, like a little aspect of it called typing colors that I thought was just very fun, that I really enjoyed. So we're going to get to experiment with that. All right, here we go. The never-ending loops. My VS Code's being a little bit laggy because I have right now like about 70 Firefox tabs open, but let's not worry about that. So we're going to take a look at the never-ending loops. They have a steganography based project with a fun feature that I will focus on more than the other. So they have the steganography, which you can hide text inside an image. So we've seen this a couple of times. I won't really focus on showcasing this, but implemented very solidly, very nice. And they also have typing colors. So you convert your input text into an image consisting of colored pixels. The colors are based on a unique secret key that we enter. So you can't just figure out like, oh, like red, this specific color of red means it's this character. You need the secret key to figure that out. And it's pretty cool. So let's get started. For other people who are also serial tab abusers, I see you. I get it. I think Keith is the worst, though. Even I've never gone above like 250 tabs. So you always just need more room. All right, so we're going to pick a secret key. By now, you know what I'm picking. So let's do typing colors. So over here, we can type things, and it will encode it as I go. So it's pretty fun. Each key does correspond to everything, so it's pretty fun. I was delighted by this because I like just seeing pretty colors pop up as I just write words. And as you keep going, the image will resize. You're just going to keep hearing my keyboard go. Which I just thought this was really cute. That it just does all of this encoding. So it can essentially encode any printable character. So essentially most things on your keyboard. It can't do the full UTF-8, but that's fine. This is also just for a CodeJam. So I thought this was pretty neat. Super cute. So you can import different text here. You can export this image. We're going to do this test.png. Yep. So I can now save that image, which is fun. It's itty bitty. It's right there. It's so tiny. So you can also set the key. So you can sort of edit your key, or it can generate like a different one here. So if you're like, no, my coworker was looking at my shoulder and saw my secret key, you can just set a new one and it will auto-generate one for you if you don't enter one, which is pretty neat. And you can also just see how that changes the color palette as well. So pretty cool. You can then decrypt and you can encrypt different things. They also have the steganography where you select an image and then hide this text inside that image. Pretty cool. So I like this project. I thought this was just kind of very well done, very solid. And this is actually entirely Take-Hinter based, which I thought was actually fairly impressive, especially with the colored blocks and how responsive it was. So very well done. But we're going to continue onwards. We actually have 2 more projects remaining. That was the 8th project we reviewed. So our next project we're going to take a look at are the itinerant iterators. I think I said that correctly. We'll find out. So the itinerant iterators, and itinerant essentially just means the traveling iterators. You see how that's cute? Because the iterators will iterate and they'll travel. It's cute. Trust me. They made a project that you can do the watermarking where you hide a secret code in the image. So basic steganography. They also have part of their tool where if you have like a screenshot of text, they will be able to find the text in the image and then redact it for you, which is pretty cool. So let's take a look at it. The itinerant iterators, it has taken me exactly like 3 months to figure out how to pronounce that one. So it took me a bit. All right, let's get the README going. All right, let's add that to, there we go. All right, so their program, they decided to make an image manipulation tool that can hide secret codes or data into images, and you can obfuscate selected text within an image. Pretty cool. So again, the two modes, the watermarker. I thought the text for the watermarking was cute, where it's you use steganography to hide a secret code in an image. So you can hide different codes in different versions of the images, and then you can share them around, but it'll always have that signature attached. And that in their README, they have the example. You could send the same image with different signatures to different people and then figure out who leaked it. Fun fact, Adele actually did something similar, where Adele would share fake bits of gossip, like different bits of gossip with like her friends. And then depending what gossip bits made it to the tabloids, she knew that like a specific friend leaked it and she would end their friendship, and like respect to Adele for that. This feels very similar. And then also the obfuscator, which will automatically detect text in an image and you can obfuscate it. The neat part about the obfuscator is it actually supports regex. So you can like use regex to select text, then obfuscate it. It was just really like that bit. Pretty cool. So let's check it out. I need to actually launch this. Looks like I have event already. And I need to... All right, we're going to use the UI. There is a CLI for this, but you know, I'm not a CLI user. So let's get it going. All right, so we are in the, let's go to the obfuscate. So we're going to give it an image. Give me 1 second. I actually need to give it an image to replace with text in it. What we're actually going to do is we're going to use the text from earlier. Remember the Magic Methods project where we could incorporate text in text? We're going to use that a little bit. No, I have a better idea. I have an even better idea. We're going to screenshot the README. Yup. All right, let's try this out. We're going to open this file of the screenshot. So we can, if I want to, for instance, blur the word Python, it'll apply it, and it adds little boxes to actually hide the word Python there. We can also use a blur. So it just kind of adds like a little more of a blur there. And you can also use regex. So how do I do this? I'm not good at regex, I'm not gonna lie. But you can use regex to like blur certain parts of the, like maybe I can do like that. and it'll blur that. Or I can do like, you can use regex as the end there if you were better at regex than me. Oh, Daylily or Richard, Cohen and Clutch with I can do app or the. And so it will blur both the and app, which is really cool that you can use regex to like blur tools, which this is pretty cool that like it just supports that. And I can honestly see myself using this like in my everyday life for instance in like Python, but I want to share part of my like helping someone with like environment variables, but I want to hide like parts of my path. Like I can use this tool. That's cool as hell. Scofflaw is A to Z, and then you take the first 3 and hide it. So it'll do that. And if you want to learn regex, because it's an incredibly powerful tool, you can go to regex1.com and take a look at it. So pretty neat. And this regex is from Backwards British. It hides a certain amount from a question mark. I don't know regex, but pretty neat. The watermarking and code function, which I won't quite show, but it's essentially what we've seen previously where you embed text in an image and it's seamless. Pretty cool. You will have to use the CLI for that. But I thought this was a really neat way to, essentially there is a secret code and you're trying to actually make it secret. I thought this was really well done. And there's also a CLI for it, and there's a UI made with PySimple GUI. So well done. All right, so here's a story from Stellar Kiss. One time I told someone to use that regex and they said it was a quiz. It's not. Long story short, I ended up telling them I was going to do arson. Y'all can read the chat to make sense of that story. But let's go on to our very last project that we're going to demo, which are very appropriately the readable regexes. So let me get that project up and running. There it is. So the readable regexes have such cute branding. They're the Stegosaurus steganography, which I thought was adorable with a really cute like little branding thing. Just absolutely cute. And so they have different ways to encode an image. They have a CLI tool, so you can just stick in terminal if you want to. And they also have a web UI that you can use if you're like me and you live or die by the mouse. So let me get this up and running. And of course, I didn't know that readable regexes were a thing. I'm a little bit inclined to agree, Groot. And based on the previous project, Chris says, really awesome job on that sort of text redactor. It'd be cool, like if you want to take it even a step further in the future, when you have more than 10 days, to see applied to live video, like screen shares. That would be so cool. And like Scofflaw, you can't tell me that that's readable. Like what? That's just you. Like that's a cat walking across a keyboard. That right there, that's a cat walking across a keyboard. But let's take a look at the readable regexes Stego suite. So this is their Stego suite, which, like I said, it's the cutest branding because you have steganography and then a stegosaurus, and it's cute. Love it. So they have different codexes, like different codecs that you can use to encode your image that you can do that. So it's pretty cool. They have a video to get an overview of the project. They have a whole wiki actually on their GitHub. So that contains instructions for installation, an introductory guide, and even more. They do have Hatch, but I don't actually use Hatch. So I think it's just I have to figure out the correct way to launch this project. Give me 1 second. There it is. That's the command I was looking for on my other screen that no one in chat can see, but just trust me when I start talking to myself. All right, there we go. All right, so we can open an image to get started. So let's do that. Let's use this picture of Ivel. So we can pick different codecs here. So we can hide a message with the LSB, which is the least significant bit, which we went over. We can also extract a message from here. We can also do edges. So we can hide a message, and this will, I believe it hides it in the edges of the image. Like it'll pick certain of the pixels and hide the image in there, which is pretty cool. So we can encode it. And then you can see the output there, barely detectable, which is pretty cool. But I wonder if I just keyboard spam. Pretty detectable. They also have noise, so we can actually hide a message, and we can determine how many bits we actually want to use. And it makes it into noise. Some encoding methods are better than others, but this one hasn't put them all, just to kind of so you can see the difference between different methods of encoding things, which is pretty cool. But let's go back home. Let's reopen the image. They have not, which is, I think, my favorite. So like, what kind of encoding would not encoding be? It means it doesn't encode it, which I thought was cute. It just encodes the text itself in the image, which I thought was pretty cute. So that's, I think, my favorite type of encoding. And then they have, I think, concat, which I have to figure out. At one point, I knew what all of these did. Hold on. They have an explanation on their wiki what all of these different encodings do. I myself no longer remember any of them, besides the ones that really stuck out, like the not encoding, which is really cute. They also have the help, which goes right to their wiki. You can see the guide, their list of codecs. Pretty cute. Like their documentation a lot, and like just very solid, very well done. So very nice job. Also the list of codecs, and they kind of explain what each codec does as well, if you're curious. Like here, the edges embedding, it uses the edges of objects detected in the image. So I was incorrect there earlier in the stream, but pretty neat that it would detect the objects and then hide it in the edges of the object there. The SSDB is the randomly spaced least significant bits. The LSB and the noise will embed it within each byte of the file, but if you use it on the web, it just has a lot of noise. And then data concatenation appends bytes to the beginning of the image in a custom encoding format, and they kind of go through that. So very nicely done. And actually, that's all of our projects. Those were all 10 of our teams, our top 10 teams that received an in-depth code review. If you're curious, you can actually see the code reviews now. Let me actually pull it up. I believe there's just one that we're still working on populating. We've done it internally. We're just working on pushing it to GitHub itself. So sorry, dynamic typists. You'll have to wait just next 24 hours. We'll actually push all of the comments onto GitHub itself. But if you're curious, if you're one of those teams, we've left a bunch of comments, sort of a type of code review you would receive in a company or in a job. At no, these code reviews are meant to be beneficial for you, not as like us being critical of you. We're aware we only gave you 10 days. And so you can only do so much within 10 days and code an entire project. But we think that pull reviews and code reviews are very helpful for everyone to kind of learn better coding practices and kind of be exposed to different ways to approach code they might not normally. And it kind of gives you a little bit of prep work for the workplace. And remember, code reviews are always a collaborative process. The goal of a code review is to get the code to be the best version of itself. It is never a critique or being critical of the programmer itself. So take a look through those reviews. They're pretty great. And yeah, amazing job, everyone. It was very difficult to choose the top 10 projects. And I have no idea how we're going to choose the top 3 and our ultimate winner. But speaking of, we are now going to take about a 15-minute break. The admins and events team, we're actually going to go back to our little planning channel. We're going to sort of discuss and deliberate over the next 15 minutes. And when we come back, we'll actually be announcing the top 3 projects and the overall winner. But I do want to emphasize that, thank you to everyone who participated in the Code Jam. It's one of my favorite events of the year. It takes a lot of effort, but it's always so worth it. And I hope that y'all really had fun, or at least got something beneficial out of it. So I will see everyone back in 15 minutes in East Coast time. That is 5:05 p.m. So I will see everyone then, but we're going to go take a bit of a break. Everyone else, stretch your legs, get some water, take a bio break, and we'll be back in about 15. All right. Bye, all. Hi, everybody. We're back. I'll give it a couple of minutes for people to kind of come on back, but we have some results. All right, so let's kind of get right into it. I do want to say that events team and the admins, we got together, we took a lot of the projects, we did a Converset voting, so we each kind of got to do our own roughly internal ranking that we then kind of condensed together and everything into one final ranking. So I do want to say that overall, for the project, we looked at a couple of things. And I'm actually going to hold on one second. So we looked at a couple of things. We looked at I'm going to use this here. So we looked at a couple of things. We looked at the code reviews. We looked at the live demos. I'm going to make that real big. We looked at the presentations. And just overall project creativity. We also looked at the project execution as well. We looked at teamwork and, of course, adherence to tech and theme. So broadly, those are the things that we ended up kind of focusing on and looking at. I do want to say that, again, this was a very hard vote to do. One of the comments from a staff member is that we could have had 30 minutes and still kind of gone back and forth on how do we decide which projects? How do we rank them? It's so difficult. And for this year especially, the rankings were very tight. So even if your team did not make the top 3 or did not win, know that it was very tight and these projects were really impressive. The quality of the project this year were extremely high. So all of you should feel very proud. These kinds of projects, especially if you take time after this co-jam to keep working on it, can definitely be a resume kind of project. So don't forget that. It shows you working in a team, time deadlines, a new technology, certain constraints given to you by others. Consider all of that kind of going forward. This is a really valuable experience, even if you don't kind of get in the top 3. So I will be sort of going through this in reverse order. So our top 3 and 2, and then at the end, I will announce the winner. So in one of our top 3 teams are the async aggregators. Let me show the banner. So congratulations to the async aggregators. Their project was the image manipulation puzzle game, where they had the different levels that you then had to manipulate using sliders and all those kinds of things to reveal secret codes. So congratulations to the async aggregators for being in our top 3. Overall, the project was very impressive, especially with a unique approach to secret codes and kind of showcasing all of the different image manipulation methods. It was very fun to try out, so congratulations for being in the top 3. The other member of our top 3 are the drumroll, the Magic Methods. The Magic Methods had you put the code into a syntax highlighted image of the code, but also the code was embedded in the code that you could then decrypt to get the code. They had a demo website available that you could try out. They also made a Discord bot that worked very well, where you could give the Discord bot code, it would spit out the image. You could also give the Discord bot the image and it would spit out the code. So congratulations on being in our top 3. This project was very well done, especially going kind of an extra effort to make the Discord bot, having invitable to your server, having sort of everything very well done, and having a very solid presentation. And overall, it just worked really well. So congratulations on the Magic Methods for being in our top 3. And finally, our winners of the 2023 Code Jam, our 10th Code Jam, are the, drumroll please, the Dynamic Typists. The Dynamic Typists are our winners for the 2023 Code Jam. They had the sort of what I'll call the next level CAPTCHA. It was a pure Python stack. With an image, you had to kind of unscramble the image to then get the code and then enter the code. This was overall just a very high quality project. During the code review, like the code itself was excellent. We liked that it was sort of a pure Python stack. The execution of it was excellent. It felt very snappy. And we thought it was a really interesting take on the theme as well. And honestly, very impressive. So congratulations to the Dynamic Typists. Again, I want to stress, though, that this was a really hard vote. Ask any events team or staff member, we were struggling for 15 minutes. But thank you to everyone for participating in our Code Jam. We had a lot of fun. This will be back again next year. It will happen earlier in the summer so we can have more participation. It won't happen in the early fall, late summer. We'll push it earlier. But we hope that everyone had a lot of fun. Over the next week, we will be releasing a sort of feedback form to sort of get everyone's feedback on how we can improve things in the future, what you liked, what you didn't like, any ideas that you have, all that sorts of stuff. For the top 3 teams over the next, I'd say 48 hours, I do have to get on a flight in the next 18 hours. But within the next 48 hours, we'll reach out to you for prize redemption and everything. But congratulations to everyone. It was super impressive. And so keep an eye out for announcements. We're sort of wrapping up a feedback form as well. And congratulations. Otherwise, I am going to start winding down the stream. We've been going for a bit over 2 hours. And I don't want to keep everyone for too long. But congrats, everyone. And I'll hang around for a couple more minutes just in case people have other comments or questions. I definitely recommend that everyone check out the GitHub reviews. And if your team did not make the top 10, you're still welcome to sort of post your project in our Python help and maybe ask for a code review. I will likely be stuck on a couple of hours of flights this week. So a non-top 10 team, they're welcome to ping me in Code Jammer's channel and ask me for a code review because I'll be bored on a flight. So I might as well do a code review. So you're welcome to do that. And we will be posting sort of a wrap-up post of the next 48 hours, my flight depending, with all of the links to the code reviews, the feedback form, and everything like that. So thank you, everyone, for participating. I hope to see some of you participating again next year, maybe even helping out next year, maybe. We'll see. And thank you all. So I'm going to wrap the stream up. I hope you enjoy your Sunday evening or Monday morning, depending on your time zone. But have a great day, everybody. Bye.